Have you noticed how almost every real estate headline lately says the same thing? Sales are up, the market is recovering, things are picking up. And while there's some truth to those headlines, I don't think they tell the whole story. Because if you stop there, you're actually missing what I think is the biggest story in today's market. So today, I want to break down what actually happened in June, what the numbers really mean, answer a couple of the biggest questions I've been getting from clients, and most importantly, what I would actually do if I were buying or selling today. Let's start with Greater Vancouver. In June, 2,390 homes sold. That's almost 10% more sales than June of last year. Now, if that was the only statistic you looked at, you'd probably think prices should be climbing. But here's the part that most headlines leave out. There are still more than 17,000 homes for sale across Metro Vancouver. That's about 30% more inventory than we normally see at this time of year. Think about that for a second. Yes, more buyers entered the market, but those buyers also had thousands more homes to choose from. And that's why prices didn't really move higher. Detached homes softened. Townhouses softened. Condominiums softened. So while activity improved, buyers still have plenty of options. Now, let's look at the Fraser Valley. The story there is even more obvious. There are now more than 10,000 active listings. That's a tremendous amount of inventory. Detached homes softened. Townhouses softened. Condominiums softened. So despite hearing that the market is improving, buyers continue to have leverage. And this brings me to what I think everyone is missing. People keep asking me, Katrina, how's the market? I actually don't think that's the right question anymore. The better question is, which market? Because real estate isn't one market. It's hundreds of smaller markets happening at the same time. Some neighborhoods are moving quickly. Others have slowed right down. Some homes receive multiple offers. Others struggle to get a second showing. Both of those things are happening today, at the exact same time. Here's what I think the June numbers are really telling us. The market has become incredibly efficient. Buyers know value almost immediately, within minutes of looking online. They know whether a home is worth seeing, whether it's overpriced, or whether they'll simply wait for something better. And that's because they finally have something they haven't had in years: choice. Today's buyers aren't competing against each other. They're comparing listings, and that's a very different market. Every month, I'm also going to highlight one market that's outperforming and one market where sellers need to pay close attention. This month's hot zone is Vancouver West townhouses. It wasn't just one of the few markets where prices actually move higher. It also had meaningful sales activity. That's important because I don't like looking at tiny sample sizes where one or two sales can skew the numbers. This is a market I'll continue watching closely. This month's Eye Zone is North Surrey townhouses. Inventory remains high. Sales are relatively slow compared to the number of homes available, and prices declined noticeably from the previous month. If you're selling in this segment, pricing strategy has never been more important. The wrong price today doesn't just cost you money, it costs you momentum. So what does all of this actually mean? If you're selling, don't price your home based on what your neighbor sold for 6 months ago. Price your home against today's competition because you're not competing against the last sale. You're competing against every home a buyer can tour this weekend. Presentation matters, marketing matters, negotiation matters, and pricing matters more than ever. If you're buying, you have something you haven't had for a long time: options. That doesn't mean making unrealistic offers. It means negotiating strategically, looking for motivated sellers, watching homes that have been sitting on the market, looking at recent price reductions. There are opportunities out there. but they're different from what they were a few years ago. Now, let's move into a new segment I'd like to call Market Mailbag. These are the questions I'm getting from clients almost every day. The first one is, will the foreign buyer ban ending on January 1, 2027 send prices soaring? The first thing I'd point out is that the legislation is currently scheduled to expire on January 1st, 2027, unless the federal government changes or extends it again. But even if it does expire, I don't believe one policy changes a market overnight. Markets move because of supply and demand. If inventory remains high, buyers will still have choices. If inventory starts falling, interest rates improve, consumer confidence returns, and foreign demand increases at the same time, that's a different conversation. It's never just one headline. It's several factors working together. The second question I'm getting is, what about everything happening around the world? Will the wars affect our housing market? The answer is possibly, but probably not in the way most people think. Wars don't directly determine home prices here in Metro Vancouver. What they can affect are things like inflation, interest rates, energy costs, consumer confidence, employment, and financial markets. Those economic factors eventually influence real estate. So instead of trying to predict headlines, I'm watching how those headlines affect the economy, because that's what eventually shows up in our housing market. If there's one thing I want you to remember from this month's update, it's this: the market isn't rewarding optimism anymore. It's rewarding strategy. Whether you're buying, selling, or simply trying to understand what's happening, the details matter. And the days of asking, how's the market, are over.